Hey guys, welcome back to Marsha Speaks. This is Marsha, and I know it's been a hot minute since I've produced or, posted anything on this channel, but, we had to get our finances in order and, adults and such things. But anyways, that's not what y'all here for. Y'all not here for my, little life rant, which I can put in a whole separate video because so much things are happening right now, personally. But let's get into Motherland. Fort Worth? It'll be in the title above. Season 2, episode 1. I don't know the episode name because, I was so quick to produce. And here we are. They kind of give us a rundown of kind of the main important things that happened in season 1. It was nice to see that because there were some things I kind of forgot that actually happened. And, of course, they're continuing the main storylines. So the first thing that I'm not gonna go based off of chronological order. I'm just gonna go based off of stuff that I remember, and y'all know sporadic memory. One of the main things I noticed or that they introduced was that there's this girl who's singing in the church and she has a beautiful voice, and behind her the glass, if you see a lot of cathedrals, the glass is melting, and I'm like, that is kind of creepy. But cool. But still creepy. But, it was people that produce these shows, they find the most, innocent thing that's happening, which is, praising God for me. And they put it next to the creepiest thing, and it just gives you even more of an impact of the scene. And I kind of like that. And we find out that the girl is actually the Vice President Silver's daughter. And they didn't know she was a witch. So that's going to be interesting. Meanwhile, we find out that the attack on Bellwether through the girl that, they wanted to be a double spy, but I don't know if it's actually going to work out. I think it will because what's her name connected with her last season. I'll get everybody's name down next episode, but bear with me because, it's only episode 1. Anywho, but yeah, the Bellwether wedding wasn't the spree. It was their old natural enemy, something with a C, the Camoria. I should have wrote this down as a phonetic spelling, but I did not. So we're going to keep it going. But yeah, it was them that were pretending to be the spree so that they had enough time to kind of get acclimated, get all the things that they needed to get so that they could attack the witches. And by things, I mean vocal cords from the witches that they actually killed, and use some type of modern day technology to, attack the witches. So I'm kind of happy that it's not the spree, but it doesn't change the fact that the spree are still terrorists. They just have a common goal, and by they I mean the spree and the army. They have a common goal now, which is to attack the Camoria, the sea. We'll just call it the sea for now until I actually can pronounce that word. Anywho, the other thing that we find out is that what's her name's mom, that's also a spree leader, she confirms that 6 of their leaders, the spree's leadership, were killed in an assassination attempt, and that those 6 were actually half of the leadership. So that means only half is left. And then she actually gained backlash 9 times out of 10 is what we're assuming, because she chose to warn the other witches, which is what we saw at the end of last season, that the Camoria are back. And I thought that's actually I think that will work in her favor, because that's actually a very good thing to do. Definitely when these new enemy does not care if you're the good guy or the bad guy. They just want to kill you, period. So it's more of a race thing than a character thing. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. We find out the other part of the episode was Abigail, and I'm blanking on the blonde one's name. She doesn't want to let Aldridge know that they are literally the bomb that happened at the end of season 1, which was epic. And I was like, I understand, because the whole point of season 1 was, can we trust the army's leadership? And we find out that yes and no, right? Like any part, any human being, we're all flawed and it's more complex than we think it is. And you can trust her, but to an extent. Like, she does have a grandiose, mindset, because of course she's been here for so many years, decades, generations. So I understand why she feels like she knows better than anybody around her, but at the same time, she kind of doesn't let people in. And I understand it's like, can I really trust you? And this, that, and third. But we find out that yes, we can trust Aldridge, but you still should watch her, because even though y'all have the same goal, the method of getting to that goal you might not agree with. In the end, though, they do agree. Abigail kind of convinces her, and Tally convince her to tell the leadership that they are the bomb, and that they're going to figure out how their power works, and fight the big C, and defend their witch sisterhood. I thought that was nice. Tally. Okay, time out. The one thing I will say that irritated my soul about, I won't say soul, that irritated me so much this episode is that a lot of the big things that ended, the consequences that ended this last season, the finale kind of just got erased in one episode. And like really half of episode if we think about it. Because Tally ended up being a birdie at the end of season 1, which basically means she kind of sacrificed her whole life for us and became an old lady and kind of got connected to Aldridge. Like, I was like, oh, how are we gonna work with that in season 2? And in season 2, episode 1, they kind of just like, oops, JK, never mind, like, she gonna be alright. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you erase something that's so impactful? It's kind of like, it makes me wonder, like, every season, once the season finale ends, the next season just gonna erase all the big consequences that happened last season. That's not very satisfying to me. That was a little disappointing, but I did like the fact that Abigail's boo thing, they kind of reconnected, because he did seem distraught when he thought that Abigail was dead. They might actually end up hand fasting. I think that's where the writers are going with that, and I think that's kind of cute. The sister, and it took me a little minute to kind of work my mind around this, being that his sister is a witch, clearly, and in this world, the women of, like, the witches have more power than their male counterparts, which we got that. But I just think that because me and my sibling are very close, and she's older than me, so I kind of like when we're working on stuff together, if she takes the lead on something, I just let her, because she's older. So there's difference to that. But I just couldn't grasp my mind around the fact that in this world, even though his little sister is his little sister, she still has low-key more power or more say in things, even though she's basically a child. Like, even though she is very adult for her age, and it makes sense because, their people are so small, like, as in numbers. So I'm like, it's just, I don't know why, but that just took me a minute to kind of like really grasp that. But moving forward, I do wonder what's happening with her, though, because she keeps on saying that he is not, like, this is not where they need to be. Like, this is not good for him. He keeps on changing. And I don't know if he keeps on changing because, he is literally changing and evolving as a human being, or is it because she really does see something negative or corruptive that's happening to him. So I don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully season 2 will delve more a little bit about their backstory. The last thing that I would like to talk about, other than the fact, Tally, they had a surgery to make her a non-birdie. Apparently there's side effects to this, because she flashed back and backflashed to a time when she probably wasn't even alive, or was a child. And it was Aldridge's memory, I think. They said it was a nightmare, but I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure it's Aldridge's memory, and Tally is reliving these memories, even though she got cut from the connection to Aldridge. Aldridge came back to the hospital to kind of like check in on her, and I'm like, she doesn't really do anything out of, selflessness per se. Like, there's anything that Aldridge does is usually based upon like something related to her or concern about her. Not saying that she's a horrible person and she's selfish all around, but there's always, like any other politician, there's always like a double or triple thing that's going on that we don't know about. So I think that, and Aldridge said that she's going to have to go through a lot, but she thinks that she can make it. And by she, I mean, Aldridge said that Tally has to go through a lot after the surgery. Well, she didn't say after the surgery, but I assume during the surgery. But apparently there's a lot that's going to happen to Tally this season because she's no longer Birdie and she got disconnected from Aldridge. And I guess one of the first things that we're going to be delving into is these nightmare-like rehashing of Aldridge's memory, and she has a lot of war scenes. Like, clearly she is a general of the army, so, and she's been here for generations, so it's going to be a little interesting to see which memories that they bring up that Tally has to relive through, and we find out that whatever she faces in these memories happens, she has little physical negative consequences. So it's going to be interesting to see what she can glean from these memories. Can she, hopefully they have a spell for her that she can kind of protect herself when she is in these dream states, because it has to be exhausting. Every time you go to sleep, you have to mentally prepare for another fight, because you don't know if this could be an actual dream on one of Aldridge's fucked up memories. So that's going to be interesting. I am very questioning, inquisitive person. So during the scene when Tally is going through Aldridge's memory, clearly the group that she's with, the Birdie group that she was with at that time, they were under attack by another group of witches. And of course, spells are used back and forth, and I'm wondering, can she glean or can she step away from the situation enough to kind of mentally prepare herself and listen to these spells to see if she can reuse these spells herself? Can she change the spells up? Because that's great combat information to have. I don't know if I could do that in that type of situation with so much going on, but I hope she uses these opportunities to learn more about Aldridge, about their history of the army, because like any other military history, there are things that you will never know, and she is a front row view of knowing the truth and gaining more tactical information, because you don't know what spells can really save the day with the Kamari. Sorry, because somebody was backing up and I didn't know if they could see that you ain't gonna hit my car. So yeah, that's how they ended the episode. They ended the episode with the vice president actually confirming, they're actually confirming that the vice president's daughter, which I don't think they probably gave her name, but I didn't catch it, that she is actually a witch, so she's going to have to be inducted into the military, or what's the correct word, Church? Put it down below. And the scene ends with Tally confirming that the dream state has physical consequences. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is that the spree, the one that's undercover, that was What's Old Girl's girlfriend, she agrees with the mom that they're going to figure out who the Kamari is, who's patient zero, because hate is a disease according to them, and kind of see how they can kind of backtrack and find a way into the Kamari or the Big C. I just find that hilarious, because at the end of the day, y'all a terrorist group. They went back to the very first, I think it was the very first scene, yeah, that was in season 1, because people are having memorials for those who have died in that attack. And of course they're twisting and spewing it, saying that the army doesn't care, that they're not doing anything because the spree is, you know, one of their own. But I just think that it takes a while for them to find it, because it is still a terrorist group. Like, it's like modern day, well, their version of ISIS. It's not like we can find all of ISIS people on American soil and be like, yep, there they are. No, it takes time and intelligence and all that stuff, and it's a constant battle, because these are ideals, so that you're really fighting, not necessarily just people. So they really oversimplify something that's extremely complicated. But, you know, emotionalism can, you know, do that. And I clearly think that he is one, if not, he's either a big C, or he will be recruited as a big C. And the he I'm talking about is the person that was speaking at the memorial. Another thing I found was ridiculous and ironic is, like, you are the ones that attacked. You are the ones that kind of started this flame by being a terrorist group, by using these humans as pawns to kind of tell people stop using witches as your pawns for military use. And you kind of created a bigger evil. It's kind of the United States and, you know, what happens in the Midwest, in the Middle East. So there's that. But that's all I got for y'all. I know I did not do a review of Charmed, and we're like many episodes in. I just kind of got tired of saying that, what is going on? Like, really, we're doing this? Like, Macy, you my favorite, but you acting a fool. So I kind of stepped back from doing reviews on that. If you guys would like Charmed reviews, I can still get back in it. I just didn't want to be the Debbie Downer in every single episode, saying the same things over and over, which is, y'all the Charmed ones. Act like it. But that's really all I got for y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will not be editing this video, so this is the raw footage. And again, subscribe, share, tell your friends, because this is really good shows. If you have any other shows that you would like for me to comment on or review, comment down below. I will try to review them. I'm very open. All the shows I watch are pretty eclectic, even if they're not in English necessarily. If they're on Netflix, I will still review them if you want me to. I have so many different shows that are not in English. As long as it has subtitles, I'm there. Yeah, but that's all I got for you. Thank you again, and bye, guys.